Hey everybody, welcome to our weekend check-in video for WSTS 47 Intro to LGBTQ Plus Studies for Saturday, October 19th. Just going to go over a few items like I always do to help you stay on top of things, even though we see each other in class, because I know some of you aren't always able to make it. So first up here is that your scores from Exam 2 have been posted there on Canvas, so do take a look at that. I'll be handing those back in class when we meet again next Tuesday. As far as what's happening next week, our plan is to continue with Chapter 9, which we started just a little bit of there Thursday right after our exam. And on Thursday next week, on the 24th, you are going to have your first quiz from Chapter 9. So it's quiz number 1, because there's actually going to be 2 quizzes based on the Chapter 9 material, because it's a very long chapter and I can't cover everything, so I have to assign some of it for homework, and hence you will have your quizzes. And next time, we're just going to continue on with Chapter 9 there. It's our first set of material on representation. So this is Representations Part 1. And in the last part of the course, our fourth course, we're going to take a look at Representations Part 2. But in this part here, it's all about the written word. So in this chapter, we've already taken a look at some poetry. We're going to be taking a look at some books, novels, for example, novelist and playwright Oscar Wilde and Radcliffe Hall. We've already mentioned both of them a little bit already in the course, you may recall. So we're going to be taking a look at them. We're also going to be taking a look at how their writings incited what are known as a moral panic. And talking about moral panics, which are very important because we're seeing a lot of that today with the censorship and all the book banning. So all that has a long history. This is nothing new, sad to say, but we are going to be taking a look at that, how it's happened back to some of these very prominent novelists at that time, and poets for that matter there too, we're going to see. We're also going to be taking a look in this chapter at painting, photography. There's all kinds of cool stuff coming up in this section of the course, so definitely keep that in mind. Next up here, just a reminder that your interview paper is coming up fairly soon on Tuesday, November 5th. You need to have that submitted there. Go to the Canvas course page, scroll down till you see the interview paper module. Everything you need to know is in there. In the instructions, you're going to find that what you have are, you're going to have to ask your interviewee 5 questions. I've already written 4 of those questions for you, but part of your task is to write a 5th original question on your own. You have to have a minimum number of full sentences used from those interview questions, and they must be an actual summary of what your interviewee said, so don't just quote them. You need to summarize what they said with a minimum of 4 sentences. You're also going to find in the instructions you have to include 3 summary questions, which are just some questions I've written that I want you to look at what happened in your interview and tell me how you would summarize those. Those have to have a minimum of 3 sentences you're going to see. And so just be careful about quoting, because quoting really isn't writing, so you need to summarize these things. And also you'll see in the instructions that you need to interview somebody who has a queer identity. They self-identify that way, and if you happen to be queer identified yourself, because I know not all of you are, if you are queer identified, you need to find somebody who doesn't have the same exact queer identity as you. So if you identify as a lesbian, you can't interview another lesbian. If you identify as a gay man, you can't identify another gay man, so you have to find somebody who's a little bit different. Certainly feel free to use your classmates there too. That's totally fine, of course. And so I just kind of keep that in mind and keep things easy. I want you to enjoy the experience and not stress so much about getting this done, that you do need to follow some simple formatting. All of that is in the instructions there in that module on Canvas, so do take a look at that there, so you just have a heads up about that. All right, that's pretty much everything I wanted to say this time. If you have any questions in the meanwhile, reach out via email on Canvas and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, I hope you're having a great weekend, enjoying the weather, and I will see you in class on Tuesday, and we will continue talking about Chapter 9. Some really great stuff in that chapter. So I'll see you then. All right, take care until then. Bye-bye.